90% of meme coin traders lose money, not because they're unlucky, not because the market is rigged, but because they all make the same 5 mistakes over and over again. If you can avoid them, you can instantly put yourself in the top 10% of traders who actually profit. Watch the whole video if you're serious and want to grow as a trader. Let me break it down so you don't end up being exit liquidity for the whales. The link to Axiom and my free Discord is down below. Let's get into it. I've lost my portfolio multiple times because of these 5 things, so it's time to stop losing money and stop blowing our portfolios. Number one is round tripping. So what is round tripping? I'm gonna click on a random coin and show you. So it's whenever you enter on a coin and you're in profit, right? But you just don't sell, and the price ends up coming back to your entry or even crash below your entry, and you sell for either break even or a loss. So let's say on this coin right here, let's say I entered right here on this dip at 140K. Let's say I entered right here. So right now it went up to 2x, right? It went to 278K. That's a 2x. So let's say I don't sell for 2x. Now price is at 190K. So that's 40%. And what happens if price what happens if this coin just comes down to my entry and just like crashes all of a sudden? Then just like that, I went from a 2x all the way down to negative, what is this? Negative 30%. And then what? What do I do now? I just hold, just pray? No, most likely I'm just gonna sell for a loss. I mean, if the narrative is that good, and maybe it'll come back, but that's what a round trip is. It's when you make a whole circle, you make a round, you make a circle, a round trip, comes all the way back to you. See, like if I sold down here, like yeah, I did round trip, 70% because I could have sold for 2x, but now I sell for 30% and I'm like, shit, I could have sold for 2x. But it gets even worse because I've done this so many times in the past before where I would get in a coin, I'm up a 5x, okay? I'm up 5x for my entry and I just don't sell because I'm like, if the narrative is that good, it's already up a 5x. Why wouldn't it be up a 10x? So, sometimes I would clip like 15%, 25%, but that's not enough though. Like, that's not, I'm not getting a lot of profit from it. So I go from up a 5, 6, 7x, and it comes crashing down back to my entry. And now I just wasted time. I could have sold for profit up there and roll my profits into another coin and just build up my portfolio. But no, I ended up just round tripping it back to my entry. And also, I made like barely anything on it. So that's round tripping. That means you're greedy. Round tripping is literally just being greedy. And I'll talk about greed in one of the other points. But yeah, round tripping, guys, just take your profits, man. Like, just freaking take your profits. Like, if you're up a 2, 3x, just take it, man. Like, if your portfolio's not at like 100 plus soul, like, you just can't afford the round trip. And that's like what I had to start doing. Like I just had to suck it up. I'm like, shit, okay, I gotta take these profits. So yeah, number one is round tripping. Now for the second one is FOMO, the fear of missing out. There's so many coins that come out, there's so many opportunity that are presented. Yet when there's a coin that gets a lot of volume, you get the fear of missing out. You want to top blast. You want to be in, you know, when it migrates, when it goes past migration, you see all your wallets buying. You're like, shit, bro, I should have bought. I should have bought. Like, if I top blasted here, I would have made it 3x. But you know what happens? You can do that, and you can end up and the coin can end up just crashing on you. Or if not crashing, like you're just forcing it. Like, what if you bought at a top? What if you bought at 150K? The price is, the coin is shooting up. What if you bought at a top and people are taking their profits after migration and it dumps to 70K, like 55, 60%. Now what do? Now you feel dumb because you top blasted. You got the fear of missing out. You became fearful instead of fearless. You were fearful, so you just top blasted, thinking like you're some crazy Cole with 50K followers and you have a bunch of copy traders, but in reality you don't. You're just another trader in this chart with no motion, and you end up just boom, just crashes down 50, 60%. You have to sell because you don't want to risk your trade. Don't be fearful, don't get FOMO. When you see a coin moving, just always think to yourself, there's always another opportunity. There's always another coin. Always another coin. There's so many coins that come out daily. There's so many migrated coins that go daily. There's a good amount of runners daily. There's a piece of the pie for everyone, okay? Number two, don't get FOMO. All right, number three. This is a tough one. Revenge trading. I know you guys take your trade and you lose and you're like, "No, I gotta win. So I'm gonna take a trade again and I'm gonna try to win," but you lose again. And then you're like, "No, I'm gonna take the trade again because I'm not gonna lose. I can't end on a loss." And then boom, what happens? You lose again. No, you know what? On the fourth try, people say third time's the charm. But you know what? I'm making my own rules. Fourth time is the charm. But what happens again? Now you're thinking in a fearful mindset. Now you're thinking of losing that money. Like now your mind is gone. Now you're like a little psycho, and now you just go like like a little addict. Oh, this is migrated. Okay, I'm gonna top blast. Boom, top blast. Oh, why did it crash at 50%? Okay, okay, next coin, next coin. Like you just end up going in this cycle. Like stop revenge trading. If you take a loss, just take a loss and just wait for the next coin, wait for the next opportunity. Do not revenge trade. I've done this so many times. Let's say it's nighttime and I want to sleep. I'm just like, no, I don't want to end on a loss. But what happens if you lose twice in a row or three times and then you win once? Okay, but it's not good enough. It's like, oh, I just got a 1.5x, 2x. No, I want to get like a 3x at least. Okay, 3x. But that's not satisfying. And then you lose and you're like, shit, I just gotta keep taking another trade. Like, I just have to. I can't end on a loss. And then your port is at like what? From 10 soul, it's at 1 soul now. Now you feel like an idiot. Like what do you do now? You're just gonna want to keep trading, and then you're gonna lose that 1 soul. It's just that simple. You just have to suck it up. Like if you're at 10 soul and you lost a soul, or 1.5 soul, or 2 soul, like just accept the loss, eat it, eat the loss, and just move on. There's more opportunity. There's better times to trade. Everything will play out. All right, that was revenge trading. Now for number four, it's over trading. Okay, so this is trading way too much. You get, you eat at a restaurant and then you eat dessert and you're like, oh shit, I actually want more dessert. I'm gonna keep over trading. I'm gonna keep overeating. Give me all that. Let me go 5x my calorie budget. That's what's happening. You're over trading. It's basically kind of like revenge trading. But I mean, over trading is, the volume of trades you're taking. You're doing more reps of that trade. Over trading is like in one session, in one like hour, you go from like normal, you follow your rules, one trade here, and if in like 5, 10 minutes, once you're there, and then you start losing, right? And then you start over trading. You start buying random coins, and now you just took 100 trades in 1 hour, and then you're down money, and then in the next 30 minutes you take another 150 trades and you're like, shit, my port's at zero. I wonder why. So don't overtrade, man. Like, it's cringe. I know it's cringe to lose, but like, bro, it's just not worth it, man. Just keep your Solana. All right, number five, such an important one. Overconfidence slash greed. Bro, there's been so many times where I would grow a low port to like something crazy, and I would just get like overconfident. So think of your confidence as a seesaw. So this is my beautiful seesaw. So boom, one side, okay? This is equilibrium right here. Middle is equilibrium. This is under confidence, and this is over confidence, okay? You always want to stay neutral. This middle is neutral. Every time you're trading, just any like doesn't matter even if you're trading, just anywhere, anytime, you always want to have neutral confidence, okay? Neutral confidence. It means you're not under, you're not over. You know, the max you can go to is like slightly over neutral, like right here. Like slightly over neutral, you know, you're not being greedy. You're just like, you know, I'm just confident, you know, like I'm taking really good quality trades, you know, I'm pretty happy with myself, you know, I'm pretty confident. You can stay here, okay? It's like the max. But what happens when you win 5 trades in a row and you basically 10x your port in like 30 minutes? Now your confidence is going to be over. Now you're like off the rails. You're like, if I just made, if I just 10x my port in 30 minutes, what happens in the next 30 minutes? Can I like 20, 30x my port? Yeah, I'm going to do that. So now what happens? Now you take, now you risk more, you know, your risk management goes through the roof. That should be another one, risk management. But yeah, you start risking more. So let's say instead of risking 1 Solana, now you're risking like 3 Solana so you can make that 30 Sol easily. But now what happens? Your overconfidence, it starts blinding you. You know, it's like putting like a blindfold on your eyes, like you're what's that guy in that show? Like you're Daredevil. You're not Daredevil, guys. Come on. Once your confidence goes over equilibrium and it starts becoming overconfidence, you're just gonna get greedy and you're gonna risk more, thinking you can make so much Solana in such a short amount of time that you're gonna end up just cycling trades, over trading. It becomes a snowball effect. And you're gonna think like you're the man, like you're the president of the United States, or like you own the whole country, the whole world. You're gonna feel like the man on top. But in reality, that's all going to change in 5 to 10 minutes, you know, an hour, 30 minutes, because you're just going to lose your whole portfolio. And it's happened to me, you know? So just don't be overconfident. Just stay neutral, okay? And also never be underconfident because when you're underconfident, you're gonna just be scared of taking trades and taking risk and seeing numbers flash in your face. So always stay neutral right here. Neutral. Equilibrium. We learned this in science class when we're in school, right? If you guys went to school, whatever. Neutral. Stay neutral. Avoid these 5 pitfalls of all traders, and you will literally make more money than you ever have in meme coin trading. Like it's really hard to do, but it's like you just have to accept it. Just have to accept the reality and just try to follow it, okay? Just avoid these 5 things and you will avoid a lot of mistakes, okay? So those are the 5 reasons why 90% of meme coin traders fail. Just don't do these. Lock in, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, well, I appreciate it. Appreciate all the love and support on these videos. I respond to all comments. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay hydrated in the trenches and peace.